My sister told my boyfriend I was cheating. He left me for her. And now, the truth has finally come out. Hey everyone. Before we jump into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed the channel is losing some traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can support us. It's quick, free, and it helps us keep bringing you awesome content. Your support means the world. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. Now, let's start the video. Hey, Reddit. This is gonna be a long post, and I've been sitting here for like an hour trying to figure out how to start. I guess I just need to get this story out somewhere, even if no one reads it. It's been 5 years, and some crazy stuff just happened that brought everything back up. So, yeah. I, 28 female, grew up with an older sister. Let's call her Maria, 30 female. And when I say Maria was the favorite child, I mean she was the favorite. You know those Reddit posts where people talk about their parents playing favorites? Yeah. Multiply that by like A1000. Looking back now, it's actually kinda insane how obvious it was. But when you're a kid growing up in that environment, you just think it's normal. Let me give you some instances of what I mean. When we were in high school, Maria got caught stealing money from our mom's purse. Not just a few bucks, she took like $200. You know what happened? Mom said she must have needed it for something important, probably makeup or clothes, and just let it go. Meanwhile, I got grounded for a month because I forgot to take out the trash. I'm not even joking. Or this other time, Maria crashed Dad's car when she was 17. She was texting while driving. Yeah. Really smart. Instead of getting punished, my parents bought her her own car because she learned her lesson and needed reliable transportation for college. When I asked for help buying a car 2 years later, they told me I needed to learn responsibility and save up for it myself. It wasn't just the big stuff either. It was all the little things too, every single day. Like during dinner, my parents would ask Maria about her day, her friends, her plans. They'd sit there nodding and smiling at everything she said. But when it was my turn, "That's nice" was all I'd get. After a while, I just stopped trying to tell them anything. Maria knew exactly what she was doing too. She wasn't just some clueless golden child. Nah. This girl was calculated. She had this way of twisting everything to make herself look good and me look bad. Like this one time in middle school, she broke Mom's favorite vase playing ball in the house, which we weren't supposed to do. Guess who got blamed? Yep. Me. Because Maria told them I dared her to do it, and she was just trying to make me happy. I was literally doing homework in my room when it happened. The worst part was that smirk she'd get whenever she pulled something like this off. You know that look someone gets when they know they've gotten away with something? That was her permanent expression around me, but only when our parents weren't looking, of course. To them, she was this perfect, caring, older sister who was just looking out for her little sis. It got to the point where I just accepted that nothing I did would ever be good enough. I could have cured cancer, and they would have asked why I didn't cure all diseases like Maria would have. Okay. That's an exaggeration, but you get what I mean. The thing is, Maria wasn't even that special. Like, she got decent grades, was okay at sports, had some friends, just a normal girl. But my parents treated her like she was God's gift to the world. Meanwhile, I was doing just as well in school, had my own friends, played sports too, but somehow that was never worth mentioning. I tried talking to my parents about it once when I was around 16. Bad idea. They told me I was being jealous and immature and that I should try to be more like Maria. More like Maria. That was their solution to everything. It became this running joke in my head. Got a B instead of an A? Should have been more like Maria. Guy turned me down for a date? Should have been more like Maria. Raining outside? Well, if you were more like Maria, it would have been sunny. Looking back now, I can see how all of this setup would happen later, how it made it so easy for her to do what she did. When you spend your whole life being the golden child who can do no wrong, I guess you start thinking you can get away with anything. And when you spend your whole life watching your sister manipulate everyone around her, you should probably see it coming when she finally turns that manipulation towards something you really care about. But I didn't see it coming. Even after everything I just wrote, even knowing what kind of person she was, I still didn't think she'd go as far as she did. Maybe that makes me naive, but I really thought that some things were off limits, even for her. Guess I was wrong about that too. So after dealing with all that family stuff I talked about, I focused on building my own life, landed a solid position at a marketing firm handling digital operations and troubleshooting. Nothing fancy, but it paid the bills, and I was good at it. That's where I met Ryan. It was during this company picnic thing in 2018. You know those forced fun work events where everyone pretends to enjoy hanging out with their coworkers? Yeah. One of those. I was hiding near the food table, best place to avoid small talk, trust me, when this guy walked up and said, "I see we had the same idea about the strategic snack table position." That was Ryan. He worked in marketing 2 floors up from my department, We got talking about how these events were basically corporate torture and somehow ended up spending the whole afternoon just chatting. He had this way of making fun of things without being mean about it, if that makes sense. Like, he'd point out how ridiculous something was, but in a way that made you laugh instead of feeling bitter. We started having lunch together at work. Nothing romantic at first. Just two people trying to survive the corporate grind. Then one day he mentioned wanting to see this new Marvel movie, but none of his friends were into superhero stuff. I offered to go with him, smooth. Right? We went to this small theater near work, and halfway through the movie, he grabbed my hand during this intense scene. He didn't let go even after the scene was over. Things just clicked after that. Ryan was different from anyone I dated before. He actually listened when I talked about stuff, like, really listened, not just waiting for his turn to speak. We could talk about serious things, stupid things, or just sit in comfortable silence. The first year was amazing. We'd do these random weekend trips. Just pick a direction and drive. After about 2 years, we moved in together. Got this small apartment that barely fit our combined stuff, but it was ours. That's when I started thinking about proposing. Even started saving up for a ring. And that's when Maria came back into the picture. I hadn't seen her much since moving out of our parents' house. Just the occasional family dinner where I'd show up, stay an hour, then leave. But when she heard I was dating someone serious, thanks, Mom, she suddenly wanted to reconnect. At first, I wanted to believe it. Maybe she was growing up. Maybe she actually wanted to fix things between us. But then she started showing up at our apartment unannounced. Always acting like it was casual, but I could tell she was watching, studying Ryan, testing the waters. She'd bring up my past relationships in front of him. Little digs disguised as jokes. Girl, you sure you want to settle down? You never had the best track record with commitment. Hope this one works out better than the others. And then there was the way she talked to him. The compliments that lingered just a little too long. The playful teasing that never crossed a clear line, but somehow felt like it did. She'd lean in when she laughed at his jokes, always finding an excuse to touch his arm. She'd remember things he mentioned offhand, bringing them up later like she was the one who truly listened. And Ryan, he actually liked her. Said she was charming, funny, thought it was sweet how she was trying to be a better sister. That's the thing about Maria. She could make anyone believe anything. And me? I told myself I was overthinking it, that I was just being paranoid, that she was trying to be better, although I brought it up to Ryan many times. But I tried to ignore that gut feeling. The one telling me that Maria never wanted to reconnect, turned out she wanted to take. I remember the last normal day we had. We were just lounging around the apartment. Ryan was grading some marketing reports. I was fixing his laptop that had been acting up. Everything was just peaceful. I keep thinking about that day, about how I had no idea what was coming, about how I should have held on to him tighter or said something more meaningful. But you never know when your last normal day is going to be. Right? It all started with a work conference in Seattle. Ryan couldn't come because he had this big marketing campaign launching that week. So, yeah, I went alone. I actually took lots of pictures while I was there, posted updates on our group chat with Ryan and some friends, even FaceTimed with Ryan every night, showing him the view from my hotel room. The conference ended on Thursday. I flew back Friday morning, grabbed some coffee at the airport, and headed straight to work because I had a bunch of stuff to catch up on. Everything seemed normal. Ryan texted me about meeting up for dinner later. I remember replying, "Can't wait to see you," like an idiot who had no idea her life was about to implode. Around 3 p.m., Ryan showed up at my office. I thought he was just surprising me, but when I looked up from my computer, his face was wrong. He was holding his phone so tight his knuckles were white. He didn't say anything at first, just stood there shaking. "Can you explain this?" He finally said, and showed me his phone. It was a video of me, except it wasn't me, but it looked exactly like me, down to the shirt I'd worn to the conference. In the video, I was kissing some guy in what looked like a hotel lobby. The video quality was disturbingly good. If I hadn't known for a fact that I spent every evening in my hotel room watching Netflix and FaceTiming Ryan, I might have questioned myself. The lighting was perfect. The movements looked natural. Even the background matched the hotel I stayed at. It was like watching a version of me I didn't recognize. Doing something I knew I hadn't done. I immediately started explaining. "Ryan, this isn't real. I wasn't there. I never even left my room after work." I pulled up my phone, scrolling frantically. Look, my location history, my Google timeline, it shows exactly where I was. I held it out to him, my heart pounding. "You know me? You know I wouldn't do this." But Ryan barely glanced at my screen, his expression cold. "Don't lie to me," he snapped. "I can see you in the video. It's you, wearing the exact same clothes you had at that conference. Same hotel, same everything. What? Am I supposed to believe someone just magically made this up?" I opened my mouth, but the word stuck. The video looked too real. The details, the way I moved, the way I turned my head, it was perfect. Someone had put serious effort into this. Even the grainy timestamp in the corner made it look like legitimate security footage. I swear, Ryan, I said, desperation creeping into my voice. This isn't me. He shook his head, taking a step back. I can't do this, he muttered, voice cracking. I can't be with someone who lies straight to my face. And just like that, I felt everything slipping through my fingers. While I was trying to explain, my office phone started ringing. It was Maria. She was all worried, saying Ryan had called her crying about some video, asking if I was okay, if there was anything she could do to help, playing the concerned sister perfectly. That's when I started piecing it together, the way Maria had been hanging around so much, how she always seemed to know our schedules. She must have been planning this for weeks, maybe months. I knew she had a hit at my boyfriend from the beginning, but I still wasn't really sure if it's her. Ryan wasn't hearing any of it though. He kept rewatching the video, pointing out details. That's exactly how you walk, he said. That's the suit you packed for the conference dinner. He was right. The details were perfect. Too perfect. Maria warned me about this, he muttered, still staring at the screen. She said you try to lie. She told me how girls always say it's fake when they get caught. That they start scrambling, throwing around excuses, trying to make you doubt what you're seeing with your own eyes. He looked up then, and the hurt in his face cut deeper than anything. I didn't want to believe her, but look at this. Look at you. What else am I supposed to think? I knew it. Maria had gotten to him first. She had already poisoned his mind against me, setting the stage so no matter what I said, I'd sound like the guilty one scrambling to cover my tracks. And the worst part, she was the only person who could have done this. The only one who had access to me, my schedule, my clothes, my habits. The only one who had a reason to go this far. The worst part, some of our coworkers saw Ryan crying in my office. Within an hour, everyone knew. You know how office gossip works. It spreads faster than a virus. By the end of the day, my boss called me in for a discussion about company values. I went home that night to an empty apartment. Ryan had packed a bag and gone to stay with his friend. The next morning, I got a message from Ryan saying he'd found more evidence. Maria had somehow manufactured a whole trail, fake hotel receipts, more security camera footage, even fake text messages. She'd thought of everything. I stared at my screen, trying to make sense of it. Where had this even come from? How did she have access to all this? The receipts, the timestamps, the footage. It wasn't just some thrown-together attempt to frame me. This was deliberate. This took planning. And that's what made my skin crawl. The sheer amount of effort she put into this. The level of detail. How far had she gone? I couldn't just sit there. I needed answers. That night, I drove straight to Maria's place, barely remembering the turns. By the time I banged on her door, she opened it with that same smug expression I'd seen 100 times growing up, leaning lazily against the frame like this was nothing more than an inconvenience. Wow, you look terrible, she said, smirking. Rough couple of days? I shoved past her into her apartment, barely holding myself together. I know it was you. My voice was low, dangerous. She just laughed. You think I have time to ruin your life, please. You're not that important. I wanted to hit her. Really wanted to. My fist curled at my sides. My whole body thrumming with adrenaline. But that's what she wanted. She was waiting for me to snap, to give her an excuse to play the victim. Then explain the receipts, the footage, the texts. Explain how Ryan just happened to get a perfect trail of proof after talking to you. She just shrugged. Maybe he finally opened his eyes and saw you for what you are, or maybe she leaned in slightly, lowering her voice like she was letting me in on a joke. You're just desperate to blame someone else because you can't admit what you did. My hands twitched, ready to swing. I took a step forward, and for the first time, I saw something flicker across her face. Anticipation. She wanted this to escalate. I forced myself to take a step back. If I hit her, she'd use it. Twist it. Turn it into something even worse. I exhaled sharply. My fists shaking as I backed toward the door. You're a liar, Maria. And you're going to regret that, and you're pathetic. Her voice was dripping with amusement. But, hey, good luck proving it. I slammed the door so hard behind me that the walls rattled, but it didn't make me feel any better. That weekend was a blur. Ryan wouldn't answer my calls. My boss had put me on administrative leave pending investigation. Maria was texting me about how disappointed she was, offering to help me get therapy for my issues. By Monday morning, my life was pretty much over. I walked into work and security was waiting for me at the entrance. They had a box with my stuff from my desk. My keycard didn't work anymore. Just like that, 5 years at the company, gone. My boss sent this super corporate email about maintaining our company's reputation and upholding moral standards. HR followed up with some paperwork about how they were terminating my employment effective immediately. Nobody even asked for my side of the story. I tried calling Ryan again. His friend picked up instead, told me to stop harassing him, and that they'd get a restraining order if I didn't back off. That hit hard. Ryan and I had promised to always talk things through, no matter what. Now he wouldn't even hear me out. Then my phone started blowing up. Apparently, Ryan's friend had posted something on Facebook about supporting his friend through a terrible betrayal. Tagged a bunch of our mutual friends. People I'd known for years started unfriending me. Got messages calling me every name in the book. My best friend from college, girl I'd known for 12 years, texted me. Girl, saw the video. Never thought you'd do something like that. I only sent to her the word fake. She left me on red. Never heard from her again. But things escalated when my parents got involved. Maria had shown them the video. Instead of questioning why their perfect daughter had this video in the first place, they called to tell me how disappointed they were. My mom was crying about how she raised me better than this. I tried explaining everything. I showed them proof. My location history, the impossible timeline, the way Maria had been acting strange for weeks. I pointed out all the inconsistencies, the details that didn't add up. But Dad just sighed, shaking his head like he was disappointed. You need to take responsibility for your actions instead of making excuses and blaming your sister. Mom wouldn't even look at me. Her arms were crossed tight, eyes fixed on the floor, like acknowledging me it all was too painful. The silence from her hurt more than anything Dad said. My older brother Lucas, who lives in Canada and barely talks to any of us, was the only one who messaged me saying something felt off about the whole thing. But he was dealing with his own stuff and couldn't really help. The next few weeks were a nightmare. Couldn't get job interviews because the story had spread through my professional network. My landlord heard about it somehow and decided not to renew my lease. Even my regular coffee shop started giving me weird looks. My savings were draining fast. Unemployment wasn't going to cover my rent for long. I started selling stuff, my gaming PC, my bike, anything that wasn't absolutely necessary. Kept thinking about all those times I helped other people when they were struggling, and now nobody would even answer my calls. The only person who stuck around was my friend Michelle from my gym. She didn't buy the whole cheating story. Said something about how Maria gave her weird vibes. Michelle was the only one who actually listened to me. One night, sitting in my half-empty apartment, Ryan had taken most of our shared stuff. I hit rock bottom. Staring at my phone, watching people I thought were friends share posts about showing true colors and karma. That's when Michelle called. Pack your stuff, she said. All of it? I'm coming over with my truck. I started to argue, but she cut me off. Look, girl. There's nothing left for you here. My cousin owns a gym in Portland, says she needs help running it. It's not marketing work, but it's something. We're leaving tomorrow. That's how I ended up throwing whatever I had left into Michelle's pickup truck at 5 a.m. on a Tuesday. Left my key in the mailbox, drove away from 5 years of my life like it was nothing. That morning in Michelle's truck, that was when my old life officially ended. Everything I thought I knew about loyalty, love, family, it all changed. But sometimes you need to lose everything to see who's really got your back. Portland was nothing like I imagined. Michelle's cousin Diana ran this old-school gym in a brick building that had definitely seen better days. No fancy machines or smoothie bars, just basic equipment, free weights, and regulars who'd been coming there for decades. First couple weeks, I slept on Michelle's couch. Diana let me work at the gym, mostly cleaning equipment, restocking supplies, basic maintenance stuff. Pay was terrible, but I didn't have many options. My marketing resume might as well have been toilet paper with all the bad references floating around. But slowly, the gym became more than just a job. The people there didn't know about my past, didn't care about some video or drama. They just cared if you showed up, put in the work, and treated others with respect. Michelle and I talked about opening our own gym, something better than Diana's outdated setup. 6 months later, we launched with 3 working treadmills, a pile of free weights, and 0 customers. My marketing? Just flyers and coffee shops and blind hope. The first month, we barely covered half our expenses, but word spread. People liked our no-nonsense approach over the fancy corporate gyms. I started helping beginners with their form, realized I was good at it, and began offering personal training. Losing my marketing career might have been the best thing that happened to me, less money, but for the first time in forever, I was actually happy. But my life really changed when I met Aaron, a kindergarten teacher with a wrecked spine from working with kids all day. He showed up at the gym nervous, admitted he had no idea what he was doing, and by the end of our session, he asked to train with me specifically. Over time, our sessions turned into conversations. I looked forward to them more than I wanted to admit, and instead of questioning me, he just hugged me and said, "Thank you for trusting me." That's when I knew he was the one. Then we moved in together. His place, since it had a great balcony garden and a cat, Prince, who liked me from day one. Eventually, I married him. Because when you find someone who truly sees you, you don't let them go. Now we've got twins, Beth and Sam, age 4. They're basically tiny tornadoes that somehow learn to talk. Aaron's amazing with them, obviously. Me, still figuring out this mom thing, but they seem to like me okay. The gym's doing great. Added a kids area so parents can work out while their kids play. Aaron teaches a weekend yoga class now too. We're not rich, but we're happy. Built something real, something honest. I thought that was my happy ending. Normal life, beautiful family, successful business. Finally felt like I'd put the past behind me. But lately, I got a message from an old friend, let's call her Christina. Christina's message was just a video attachment with a text, "You need to see this." Almost deleted it without watching. Christina was part of my old life. Hadn't talked to her since everything went down, but something made me click play. The video was shaky, filmed in some club back home. Music blasting in the background. People shouting over each other. Then Maria appears on screen, barely standing straight, hanging onto the bar for support. She's trying to impress some guys at the bar, speaking loudly over the music. You want to hear something crazy? Maria slurs, flipping her hair back. Remember my sister? The one who moved away? I totally destroyed her life. She laughs, clearly drunk. Found this tech guy online, real professional with all that AI stuff. Cost me like 15 grand, but worth every penny. Made this perfect video. Looked exactly like my sister cheating. Even matched her clothes from her work trip. The guys don't look impressed, but Maria keeps going. Her boyfriend believed it immediately. Should have seen his face. Everyone believed it. Lost her job, her friends, everything. Just like that. She snaps her fingers and almost falls over. Best part, nobody even questioned it. My parents still think she's the bad guy. They don't know their perfect daughter paid some Russian dude to make fake videos. More laughing. Christina's voice comes from behind the camera. Girl, that's messed up. Why would you do that to your own sister? Maria gets this weird look on her face. Because she had everything I wanted. Good job, nice boyfriend, everyone liked her. She didn't deserve any of it. I just fixed things. The video ends there. I knew she was behind everything, but I still watched it maybe 20 times. Replaying every word, every smirk. And then it hit me, $15,000. My sister spent $15 only to destroy my life. Not just on fake receipts or manipulated messages, but on something bigger. The way the video was made, how seamless it looked, how even I had doubted myself for a second. This wasn't some cheap trick. This was something else. I felt my stomach drop. That's when I finally understood. Just sat there staring at my phone, my mind unraveling, until Aaron found me. He watched it once, got real quiet, then asked what I wanted to do. Before I could answer, more messages started coming in. The video had spread. Christina showed it to some people at the club. They shared it around. My parents called first. Mom crying so hard I could barely understand her. Dad trying to apologize but not really knowing what to say. Kept talking about how they should have known and how could Maria do this? Like, they were the victims here. Then came the messages from old friends. Lots of "Girl, I'm so sorry, and I should have believed you." Each one felt like a slap. Where was all this support 5 years ago? Ryan messaged too. A long emotional paragraph filled with guilt and regret. After I left, he and Maria had gotten together. Turns out she was already pregnant with his child when everything went down. They got married, but it didn't last. Now he's a single dad, working 2 jobs to make ends meet. Maria took off, hasn't paid child support, won't even acknowledge their daughter. He's struggling, working 2 jobs to make ends meet. He also admitted how much he suffered in their relationship, dealing with her manipulation and carrying the weight of it all alone. Watching him believe Maria over me without a second thought. Part of me wanted to feel satisfied, like he was finally getting a taste of what her manipulation felt like. But seeing him struggling alone with a kid, dealing with the same lies and games I went through, it just felt hollow. Yeah. He should have believed me back then. Should have known better. But Maria fooled everyone, not just him. And now there's an innocent kid caught in the middle of all this mess. I showed Aaron the messages. He just held my hand and said, "Whatever you decide, I'm with you." That's the kind of person he is. Doesn't tell me what to do. Just supports whatever choice I make. Michelle came over when I told her what happened. Brought pizza, sat on our back porch while I tried to process everything. Asked me what my gut was telling me to do. "The kid's innocent," I said. "She didn't choose any of this." Michelle nodded. "So what are you thinking? Spend all night talking it through with Aaron?" He pointed out something I hadn't considered. This could be a chance to break the cycle. Show my kids what it means to be a good person, even when people hurt you. Next morning, I called my lawyer. Set up a trust fund for the kid, Enough to cover education and give her a good start in life. Made it clear. The money's for her, not Ryan or Maria. Monthly deposits, but no contact. Don't want to confuse her about who's who in her life. Ryan messaged again, asking to meet, to explain everything. Aaron said I should do whatever gives me peace. But, honestly, I don't need explanations anymore. The video showed me everything I need to know. My parents keep trying to visit. Want to meet their grandkids. Try to make things right, but I can't risk letting them hurt my children the way they hurt me. Some bridges stay burned, wrote Maria a short message. I saw the video. Money's been set up for your daughter's future. Don't contact me again. She tried calling multiple times. Left voicemails about being sorry, about changing, about wanting to make things right. Deleted them all without listening to the end. Tomorrow, I'm taking Beth and Sam to the zoo. Aaron's packing a picnic. Michelle and her new boyfriend are coming too. That's what matters now. The family we chose, the life we built. The truth came out, but it didn't set me free or give me closure or any of that stuff. Just confirmed what I already knew. Sometimes there's no fixing the past. You just have to build something better for the future. Final update. Thanks, guys, for sticking with this story. Here's how everything turned out. It's been 3 months since Christina sent that video. Life's different now, but not in the way I expected. Getting your name cleared after 5 years isn't like in the movies. There's no big moment of victory, no satisfying revenge scene, just a lot of complicated feelings and messy situations to deal with. Ryan keeps sending photos of his kid, my niece. She's got the same dark hair I had at that age. He says she loves dinosaurs and wants to be a firefighter. Each photo feels like looking at what could have been, in some other version of my life where things went differently. The trust fund is set up properly now. My lawyer made sure it's airtight. Money goes directly to education and basic needs. Ryan can submit receipts for reimbursement, but can't touch the principal amount. The kid gets control when she turns 21. It's not a fortune, but it's enough to give her options in life. Found out Maria lost her job when the video went viral. Apparently, her company didn't like having someone who spent $15 on deepfake videos to frame their own sister. She tried showing up at my parents' house, but they wouldn't let her in. Karma's weird like that. My brother came to visit last month. First time seeing him in years. He watched the twins playing in our backyard and just started crying. Said he should have done more. Should have known something was wrong. I told him he's the only one who even questioned things back then. My parents still don't get it. They send emails about healing as a family and moving forward together. Last week, Mom mailed this whole photo album of my childhood pictures. Like, somehow seeing photos of when we were happy would make everything okay, but I don't care about any of that anymore. The gym's expanding now. Got a second location opening across town. Michelle's running that one while I handle the original. Last week, this new client came in. Girl looked really familiar. Turned out she was from my old company. She didn't recognize me at first, then got super awkward when she realized who I was. Started apologizing about believing the video, about how everyone at the office feels terrible now. Told her not to worry about it. Set her up with a training program for her back pain. Sometimes the best revenge is just being good at what you do. Aaron thinks I should write a book about everything that happened. Says it might help other people who've been falsely accused or lost everything. Maybe someday. Right now, I'm just focused on the life we've built. Ryan sent another message yesterday. Says my niece is asking questions about her mom, about her family. Wants to know if I'd consider meeting her someday. Haven't responded yet. Not sure I ever will. And, oh, Aaron and I are expecting another baby. Found out last week. Boy, this time, according to the ultrasound. We're not telling many people yet, but feels right sharing it here. With all you strangers who listen to my story, sometimes I wonder what I'd tell my younger self if I could go back to that day when everything fell apart. Probably that losing everything would lead to building something better. That the family you choose is stronger than the family you're born into. That sometimes the worst things people do to you end up pushing you toward your best life. The twins are calling. Time for our Saturday morning pancake tradition. Thanks for reading all this, Reddit. Writing it out helped more than I expected. Edit. Wow. This blew up. Thanks for all the awards and kind messages. To answer some common questions, yes, the gym's doing great. No, I'm not planning to reconcile with Maria. Yes, Beth and Sam really do teach their toys proper lifting form. It's adorable. Edit 2. Stop messaging me about selling my story to Netflix. Not interested. This isn't that kind of story.